I know. But we got to get back to it
Woo!
because the time is here. You know, some people are tired, and I'm over here. And look, both of y'all did at the same time. I'm just over here like we got to get them back. We got to get them back. And that's probably how Kyrie feeling too. 2024 NBA Finals predictions. So, welcome to the 2024 NBA Finals. It starts tomorrow, but we got the season's most dominating team against the contender that remade itself in the mid-season. So you got the 64-win Boston Celtics, who've been efficient all season, going up against the Dallas Mavericks, who found a way to make some key piece trades right before the trade deadline. No, you're right. I'm telling y'all. Wait till I tell y'all. I don't think y'all seen the list. I'm gonna break it down. But oh, you seen it? You seen it?
It's
Yeah.
the list with
Nah.
him. It's the him with him and Colin Coward, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
bro.
I saw it.
Yeah. But we got the Mavericks who made two key piece additions to their team, and now they're in the finals. So the question is, will Boston get its 18th championship, setting the NBA record, or will Dallas claim the title for the first time since 2011, when Jason Kidd was a player and now the head coach? So since I'm in last,
Yeah.
oh wait, hold up.
No, you go last.
Oh, because I thought. All right, go ahead.
No. It's how we should do it. Whoever has a lead, let them go first,
Ain't y'all
and
tied?
then you gotta make an adjustment.
We
Oh,
tied
you know
though.
what I'm saying? Huh?
Me
Y'all
and you are
tied.
tied though.
I mean, you kind of had a lead first, so
Okay, okay. I can go first. That's cool with me. That's cool with me. All right, so
so look, who you got? MVP? How many games?
Also,
got you.
thanks, Dave, for sending that text message.
No problem. No problem. So before I start, I want to say it's going to be a great series. I think it's going to be an awesome series to watch. And this is me being as unbiased as possible. Because if you all have been watching, you know who I have a strong disdain for, and it's the Boston Celtics. I believe this year's NBA champion will be the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm going to give you my reason after I tell you who wins the MVP. And I believe that's going to be Luka. I think Luka wins the Conference Finals MVP. And I believe it happens in 6 games. Now, the reason why I chose that is because I look at the Dallas Mavericks of this year, and they remind me of the Dallas Mavericks from 2011. The same team that beat the Miami Heat in 2011 with LeBron James, who didn't show up. If you look at the road that the Dallas Mavericks had to deal with to get to the NBA Finals, it kind of sort of mirrors what the Mavericks went through during that time. Because they played the Lakers, I believe, in that year, beat the Lakers, beat OKC as well, and the only thing is I'm not remembering the other team that they beat. I was I was thinking it was the Spurs, but I think I'm wrong. I don't think it's the Spurs. Um, but I know they beat the Lakers and OKC, who at that time, if you look at the teams, were better than the Dallas
Houston.
Mavericks. Maybe, but the Dallas Mavericks beat them with um, a European superstar and a really good point guard. Even though Jason Kidd wasn't necessarily who he used to be, he was still serviceable at that time. He is now the head coach for this Dallas Mavericks team, and the way that Kyrie and Luka have been playing have been very efficient. Um, they've been able to beat the number one team in the West in Oklahoma City Thunder. They also beat the number one defensive team in the NBA, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. So it feels like they kind of already went through their battles and they were tested. This is not to say that the Celtics don't have opportunity, because I believe if the Celtics come out ready, they can win this in 5 games. Honestly, if they come out the way that they should be because of the way that their team is built, they should win this in 5 games. That's just my personal opinion. But I think the Mavericks will win. I believe that they're ready. Kyrie has the championship experience to go with him as well. So does Jason Kidd, and it just seems like Luka is just built for the moment. and that's why I believe this. I believe that they win. I also don't really trust the Celtics just yet because they haven't really been tested. Not saying that they, like I said, not saying that they're not good enough, but I just haven't seen them play against a team that was healthy and had this kind of firepower throughout the team. So I got the Mavericks in 6.
For that run, it was Portland, the Lakers, OKC, and then of course Miami. Well, we're gonna say LeBron because everybody else showed up.
All right. Yo, this is one of the toughest picks I had to make. I look back at all the finals picks I had to make, and a lot of them were like, okay, I got this team. I made my pick way early. I might have been wrong, but I made my pick early. I finally finalized my pick yesterday. I had a pick, and then I'm like, no, I'm going this. Then I'm like, I'm going this. And then yesterday we canceled the show, and I was like, dang, this happened for a reason. Because I'm going to go with this team. And they just had to pick the Mavericks, but they don't pick the Celtics. Teddy, I'm picking the Celtics. I'm picking the Celtics, Teddy. Jovan, Mike, I got the Celtics, man. My MVP is Jason Tatum. He's going to capture the MVP. And I also have this ending in 6. Now, this is why I'm picking the Celtics. All right? You know, Tom torn. Tom got to play on these games now.
I know, and everybody going 6. Come on now.
Yeah. All right. Now, look, this is why I'm picking them, right? The Boston Celtics are the better team. We know that. We know they're a better team. We know the Mavericks have the best player. The only way I see the Boston Celtics losing this series if they just fold. I know we all say that they haven't really been tested. I think they have been. I thought they've been tested. We've been worried about the Celtics in clutch situations. And we saw in multiple situations in these playoffs, in the clutch, they found a way to win. They play an Indiana Pacers team who played with the fastest pace in the NBA, and they beat the. I know Tyrese Haliburton was hurt. They beat the Pacers at the Pacers game. They play at the same pace with the Pacers, and they swept them. That says a lot. And I know their role hasn't been tougher than the Mavericks. We know that, right? Their role hasn't been tougher than the Mavericks. But does that mean that they're going to come in rusty? You know what I mean? Does that mean they're going to come in not taking them seriously? You know? So I don't see that. And number 2, when you look at the Mavericks run, they play injured Kawhi Leonard Clippers against a folding Paul George and a folding James Harden. Right? If that was the Celtics, that's the narrative we would have been running with, right? Then they play a very young OKC team. How we can clearly see Dallas had the veteran advantage in that series. The only player that was consistent the whole series was SGA. Everybody else was up and down because of their youth. And then they play a Minnesota Timberwolves, who I feel like we kind of overhyped because we saw them beat the Nuggets. They match up well with the Nuggets. They match up well. They like their best player is a big Jokic. That's their best player. So they had multiple guys who could get Jokic, and Jamal Murray is hurt. He's playing with an injury this whole playoffs. So Luka and Kyrie, look, what I say? I said they too small for Luka, and that showed. It showed, right? So, and that whole series against the Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota got a case to win every game except for Game 5. Every game Minnesota was leading heavy in those games except for Game 5. So it's not like they just wiped the West. It was they went through some hard times in that West. And the Celtics, they kind of just blew by the East. Blew by the East, even though everybody was hurt. I think Jason Tatum will relish the moment. I feel like this is one of the most unselfish teams I ever seen that's in the NBA championship. Right? This team don't care who gets a shine. You see Jason Tatum, you see Jaylen Brown win MVP. Jason Tatum not mad. He's happy to be back in the finals. Jason Tatum asks for the ball. Like he on demand it when Jaylen Brown is cooking, you know. And lastly, the Porzingis effect. I think the Porzingis effect is going to be huge. It's going to be huge because I know. The Pacers blew 3 leads. That's true. But we're not gonna give Drew Holiday credit for what he did, and that part of it though.
Most
Drew
important
Holiday
player.
did make some plays, Carl. I get it. They blew leaves. I can see the same thing about Minnesota, right, Carl? I can say the same thing about Minnesota when it comes to Dallas. I can say the same thing about the Clippers, how they folded. James Harden folded in the last 2 games against. I can say the same thing about everybody else, but we gotta give the winning team credit. But Porzingis being here, what I say about OKC, they not using chat right. Put them in mismatch situations. They didn't do that. If they would have did that, they would have had a way better shot beating Dallas Mavericks. That's what the Boston Celtics do. They hunt mismatches, especially with Porzingis. He will be back fully healthy. Now, I do think Luka will still have an incredible series. But as far as team-wide, Derek Lively and Gafford, they're going to have their work cut out for them. You know, even when they switch and dealing with Porzingis or Al Horford, he stretches the floor. They're going to be out of the paint and they're not going to be able to shrink the paint like they did with Minnesota. It's a whole different matchup. So I got the Celtics in 6, Tatum being MVP.
Only thing I'm torn about is my finals MVP. I'm mad everybody went 6. Because I was gonna say Mavs in 6. Because Mavs they're gonna close this out in 6. Because it's cookies on the line. And I know the league, and there's a lot of politics that go on behind finals MVP sometimes. My heart's saying pick Kyrie. Because he's gonna have to be the best player in the series
You
on the
know,
Mavs.
I had a hard time picking Luka. You know, I had a hard time picking Luka MVP.
But I know they're gonna give it to Luka.
Points, rebounds, and assists.
I know, but when we talking moments, Kyrie gonna be the one with the moments. Because if you go, so I'm Finals MVP, I'm going Luka. But if Kyrie win it and I lose the cookie bet because of it, I should have went with Kyrie. I ain't mad, but I'm going Luka. Why? Because of that person I just said. Kyrie's been in these moments. He has a lot to prove to that Boston fan base, and I know the first time he stepped back in there, of course, Boston gonna be turned up. Of course, Dallas gonna be turned up. But Boston, they hold that level of pettiness when it comes to a fan base. And I heard Teddy laugh when he said Celtics in 6. They're gonna be in there giving him some. They're gonna give him the blues. They're gonna give him the blues, but Kyrie gonna be right back and answering. Jason Kidd, this is gonna be one of the toughest moments for you because you're literally playing chess at this point. I like the moves that you made with that Timberwolves series because the size down bottom with Nas Reed, Rudy Gobert, and Cat. But I was listening to another show, you know, no, that's not the name of it. But shout out to AJ and shout out to you, Dave, for the Full Time Out podcast because you all said something on there that made me think about it. And y'all was like, "Well, we picked the Timberwolves because of those said guys," but y'all said one thing. One key thing is they weren't mobile enough. And that right there helped the Mavs win that series. Of course, they cut off the paint for the Mavs, and that's why the Timberwolves were able to get back in certain games. But them guys not being mobile enough to keep up with Gafford or PJ or Lively hurt them in the end. And that's what's going to hurt Porzingis. Because if you get physical with Porzingis coming off of the injury, he might be second guessing a few things. Granted, the unicorn can't go off and get you 30. So that's the flip side of it. But if you Jason Kidd, you got to know these things. You got to scout because outside of JJ Redick and LeBron doing a podcast, YouTube clips are out there. So you have to be ready for that. I'm picking the Mavs to win this because I got cookies on it, and they were my dark horse. I did not think that they was actually going to make it to the finals when I picked them as the dark horse, but they started winning ever since I said that. And shout out to Joe for picking a date. I literally said it the day before, and they went on a win streak right after that. I don't got my video today. I got to edit the volume, but we here, baby.
You do. Hey, look, can I address Carl real quick, y'all? Real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you think?
So, look, what did Dave? So it's not a shout out to Dave, but this is a narrative, right? Dave said they haven't been tested. That's what you said. Like that's a narrative. They haven't been tested. The Mavs have been tested. So I had to break down how we can also say the Mavs had some breaks too. Like the Mavs also they run is not as good as you think it is. That's what a point I was bringing, and I was bringing light to some of the Celtics run because nobody's talking about how they close those games out in the late play. Everybody's talking about all the injuries. So I'm not saying what you're saying. I'm just showing you that what you're saying about the Celtics, I can also talk about the Mavs too. And what you're praising about the Mavs, I can also talk about the Celtics too. That's why I brought it up. So I'm not flipping nothing. I'm just using your own argument against you.
That's true. I definitely get your argument because you got to look at what Drew Holiday and Jalen Brown, what their impact is going to be. Because Jalen Brown is the no Carl, no, he didn't. I said it first. I'll be honest. I said it first. I started it. It was I don't know if you listened, but it was because of me. Um, Jalen Brown. I said this on Full Timeout. I think I've said it on here before. He's the aggressor. He's the aggressor of the Boston Celtics, and I think if he's able to do that and contain it and be consistent and able to make buckets against this Mavs team, the Celtics have an awesome chance to be able to win this in 5 games. I think if the Celtics come out and play in the way that I believe that they are capable of, they can literally win this in 5 games. I don't think the Mavericks really match up well against the Celtics. Honestly, if you look at top to bottom, I don't think they match up well. With Kristaps Porzingis coming back in Game 1, Al Horford, everyone on the team can shoot.
Yep.
That's something that the Mavericks necessarily haven't really had to deal with that much, other than maybe OKC. But you can't say that either because Josh Giddey is not a good shooter. Everyone else is good enough, but Josh Giddey is not. And even if you bring up the Minnesota Timberwolves, all you had was Cat and Nas, and Nas was the better shooter out of the two. Cat didn't show up.
15,000 shots. 1,500 3-pointers a day.
And the only time he showed up was Game 4. Every other game was not good, honestly. So I get where Joe's saying, and Drew Holiday showed why he's a defensive menace. If you look at down the stretch, it was Drew Holiday and Jalen Brown that led most of those comebacks because they made play after play after play after play. And of course, Tatum pitched in as well because Tatum's getting rebounds, getting assists, and making key shots like that. That behind the back pass he gave to Al Horford was crazy. So they are very, very capable. It's just I have to see it to believe it because I've seen them get to a point where they are the better team and they don't show up for real.
Yeah.
Not saying that they won't show up, but they can fold.
Yeah. If we had to pick an X factor, it would be Drew Holiday in this instance because if Drew Holiday can stop one of the two scorers on the Mavericks, now you have to depend on PJ Washington to be that extra scorer. So I'm still picking the Mavs, but if we had to pick an X factor, for me, it would be Drew Holiday. That's going to be the key to the Boston Celtics winning this series.
I think Al Horford is going to play a big role too defensively and offensively. He's going to be able to stretch the floor and get lively and gap her. Because we talking about Porzingis, but Porzingis might be on a minute restriction. Al Horford might play a lot too. So Al Horford defensively is solid. All right. We heard the same thing we faced the Grizzlies before the series. It was a big talk about the mismatch.
The Grizzlies? What are you talking about?
I don't know what we have on right now. But okay. I don't know what he's talking about. He's probably talking about back in 2011. I don't know. They didn't play the Grizzlies though. I don't know what he's talking about.
They did.
I like that shot. I like the shot. May.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, even though the Patriots right now. Oh, balls. I get it now.
Yeah,
all right, but
it's more so for Teddy, I think.
But I think Al Horford gonna be a big X factor. I know you mentioned Porzingis getting physical. Al Horford wants to get physical. Al Horford is a physical defender. Like he has physicality, and for the Mavericks to win. And look, I don't have no dog in this fight. If the Boston Celtics win, I'd be happy to see Tatum win MVP, finally get his ring with Jalen Brown.
He was burnt.
And if the Mavericks win, I would love that to see Luka, the guy who not have winning intangibles, win a ring literally within the same year when people say that about him. I would love to see that. So I'm cool with whatever. But I just think my head is telling me the Celtics are going to win. Celtics are going to win. So it's their time. They've been knocking on the door for too long. They brought in Drew Holiday, a proven winner. They brought in Porzingis, right? So it's their time. And Joe Mazzulla, I'm telling you right now, if the Boston Celtics win, Joe Mazzulla going to get so much love. Because I feel like he's doing a really good job. People still living off his. It's funny when people criticize Mazzulla, they don't really say nothing. They don't tell you where's the criticism. It's more so like he's not a good coach. It used to be the timeouts last year, but this year, what criticism do we have for him really? He's been doing a great job.
Can't have any.
Yeah,
you really can't have any
If I'm Joe
fun.
Mazzulla and if they do win, if I'm Joe Mazzulla, the first thing I'm saying when I get to the podium is, if you take my brain and put it in a bird, is it still gonna fly backwards? Like
there it is.
that's the level of pettiness I would have for Kendrick
And,
Perkins.
and Kendrick Perkins covered the Celtics. He talks on their post game sometime, all that stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I don't get it. He be killing the Celtics.
that's probably
So,
why. Because he's like, look, I gotta talk about him every day, so let me just come on here and get my right.
you know what? I don't think he's there no more. That's probably why he killed him.
You right.
Joe, I got some Commanders news. I'm
I
pretty
just got your message. That's why I made that face.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw it
Just
though.
list.
Thank you. I'm
Commanders
glad you agree.
Commanders head coach Dan Quinn said the team was unaware of the sexual assault allegations against kicker Brandon McManus when they signed him in free agency and didn't learn of them until late last month.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. They would never brought him in if they knew that. But Tomo, I just noticed Dak is not on this list.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. That's
not why he was. That's not the reason why I'm tripping. Caleb Williams number 3 already, bruh.
They got Janie McDaniels, the top 16.
come on now.
I
Kyler
mean,
Murray.
I'm
yeah. You're right. Over
get
that
it.
right now, come on, bro.
I get like is Purdy gonna get some love at some point? Like the man then went to the two straight NFC championship games and went to the Super Bowl.
Like I hold on. I gotta see what this list is about though. Let's do that. We gotta see if it's future, because it's a draft. Is it like the next 5 years?
Why is Josh Allen number 2 if you talking about the future, Joe? I don't care. Josh Allen shouldn't be number 2 if you talking about the future.
It says that Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright did a draft on who they want to be their team's quarterback.
Come on, dog.
Well, then that makes sense why Josh Allen number 2 for these two guys. Well, not Nick Wright. Maybe Colin Cowherd, because
bro.
But you got Caleb Williams.
Nick Wright loves Caleb Williams, though. Huh?
Caleb Williams top 5 already.
You think Caleb Williams got a chance to get to the Super Bowl this year?
Did they do this on air? I'm trying to figure out how they did the order, because it was like Nick Wright had to get
on the volume.
Okay, yeah. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, you can tell it's on the volume, yeah, because like the pictures they use. Well, they probably already had these pictures, but they tripping, dog. They tripping. All right, let's wrap this up, man. They look, Caleb, y'all got good because y'all got. I mean, we got to make a number 3 overall. It's rookie year. Come on, Caleb.
Yeah, that's come on now.
First of all, who team you talking about? You said Memphis. The Timberwolves. Okay.
Yeah, he corrected himself. Yeah.
Listen, I picked y'all to beat the Timberwolves. I said Luka is a mismatch. They got nobody for Luka. That was my thing, and that was the case. And Kyrie apparently. All right, let's get it, man. Last words from me, man.
No Purdy.
This is gonna be, huh?
Yeah. I'm talking about the list. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. I didn't know that Dak wasn't on there. That's crazy.
They could have put Trey Lance up there for.
They got Anthony.
I'm just saying.
And they got Anthony Richardson 11th.
Like,
first of all,
he played like 3 games last year. Like,
I think this is our last word. So.
and like, look, no, don't get me wrong. Anthony Richardson, he could probably be good, but they wouldn't even winning with him. They start winning when your boy came in. Tatum got homeless man.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
Jalen Hurts couldn't win the game because his defense was bad.
Jalen Hurts, what he got? Oh, he 13. They
Baker
got
Mayfield beat him. This is
Kyler Murray.
Did he make the playoffs yet?
Kyler Murray. Hey, that's wild. This
is a troll list. This is definitely a troll list.
All right.
Not so average top 5. Come on, Joe. You gotta clean this one up. I know your top 20 gonna be better than this.
No, it is. I got Dak in my top 20. He in my top.
About Dak. I'm just saying it gotta be better than this. I said,
it is. Yeah,
that's wild. I said Purdy. I did say Dak first, but then I was like, "Where's Purdy?" I was like, "They only got Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers is coming back." Once I seen Matthew Stafford, I'm like, so it's not an age thing because they put Matthew Stafford up.
True.
So all right, y'all got
True. And they got Baker in there. It's definitely no age thing. Baker been